Hello, welcome to our channel Learn to Score. In this video, I am going to solve exercise 1 of progressions chapter from 10th class mathematics. I hope you will like the video. Please subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thank you. Question number 1 is, in which of the following situations does the list of numbers involved make an arithmetic progression and why? We are given total 4 situations, right? So for each of the situation, first we have to write the list of numbers involved. Once you have list of numbers, then you figure out whether that list makes an arithmetic progression or not, right? To begin with, let's start with the first situation. The taxi fare after each kilometer, when the fare is 20 rupees for the first kilometer and raises by 8 rupees for each additional kilometer. You see, for the first kilometer, it is 20 rupees, right? Later on, for every kilometer, it raises by 8 rupees, right? The list is what? Taxi fare after each kilometer, right? So let's first write the list. For that, fare for the first kilometer is 20 rupees. That is what is given, right? What is the fare for 2 kilometers? Meaning first kilometer you would be paying 20 rupees and for the second kilometer you are paying only 8 rupees, right? So the total fare is 28 rupees. Meaning if you travel 2 kilometers, then you have to pay the taxi fare 28 rupees. If you travel only 1 kilometer, you would be paying 20 rupees only, right? Fare for total 3 kilometers is going to be 28 rupees plus 8, right? That is 36 rupees. Fare for 4 kilometers is going to be 36 plus 1 more kilometer. That's why 8 rupees extra. So 44 rupees, right? If you travel 5 kilometers, then what you would be paying is 52 rupees, right? 44 plus 8. Otherwise, what you can do is actually you can write it as 20 plus 2 times 8 because extra 2 kilometers we have traveled. That is going to be equal to 36, right? Whatever we have written here, that is also fine. This way also you can find the numbers in the given list. So to write the list, so list of fares 20, 28, 36, 44, 52 and so on. As you travel more and more kilometers, this list is going to grow, right? Now look at this. What are the list of fares? 20, that is the fare for first kilometer. For second 2 kilometers onwards, it is like you are only paying extra 8 rupees, right? So that's why it is going to be 28 for 2 kilometers total, 36 for 3 kilometers total travel, 44 for 4 kilometers total travel, and 52 for 5 kilometers total travel, right? So once you have these lists, please recall that an arithmetic progression is a list of numbers in which each term is obtained by adding a fixed number to the preceding term except the first term. Meaning except the first term, rest of the terms if you observe, you will be adding a fixed number to the preceding term to get the actual term, right? For example, for the second term, you added 8 to the first term, right? That's what we have done here. First term is 20. Second term, I can say that it is 20 plus 8, right? Here, for the third term, what you have done is you have added 8 to the previous term, right? Here you have added 8 to the previous term, that is 36. So in that way, what you can say is we have been adding 8 to previous terms to get the required terms, right? For example, to get 28, what we have done is we have added 8 to 20. Here we have added 8 to 28 to get 36. Here we have added 8 to 36 to get 44, right? In this way, what you can say is we have been adding a fixed number, that is 8, right? That is called common difference of arithmetic progression, right? So now you could see that whatever the list you have gotten here, that is exactly matching the requirement of arithmetic progression. right? That's why we can say that it is an arithmetic progression. And in this particular situation, the list can be obtained by looking at this statement. The amount of air present in a cylinder. Okay, this is going to be the list. Amount of air present in a cylinder is going to be the list when a vacuum pump removes 1/4 of air remaining in the cylinder at a time, right? Meaning when you operate vacuum pump, it is going to remove 1/4 of air present in the cylinder at any time, right? For example, if you have a full tank or full cylinder and you operate vacuum pump, it is going to remove 1/4 of the air present in that. It means you will have 3/4 of tank only air present at the end, right? Again, you operate the pump on it, it is going to remove 1/4 of whatever is present in the cylinder, meaning 3/4 of the cylinder is already present. So you are operating the pump. It is going to remove 1/4 of 3/4. Got it? So let's write that. So to begin with, let me assume that the air present in the tank initially is X liters. You have X liters of air present in the tank initially. Okay. Now you are operating a pump. Once you operate a pump, it is going to remove 1/4 of the air present in the cylinder, right? It means how much pump is going to remove? 1/4 of X, that is X by 4 liters. If pump removes X by 4 liters, what is the remaining air? Remaining air is going to be X minus 1 by 4X, right? That is 3/4X liters, right? Once you have this much of air present in the cylinder, you are going to operate again pump. Once you operate, what will happen? It is going to remove 1/4 of this particular amount of air. So pump is going to remove 1/4 of 3/4x, that is 3/16x, right? What is the remaining air? You have 3/4x initially before starting the pump. Once you started the pump, it removed 3/16x, right? So the remaining air is going to be 3/4x minus 3/16x. Let's simplify this. The LCM of this is 16, or otherwise simply I can write 16. So 3x times 16 divided by 4 is 4 minus 3x times 16 divided by this 16 is 1, right? It means you have 12x minus 3x in the numerator. That is going to be 9x. So 9x by 16 is the remaining air. Of course, you can further switch on the pump and remove some air and see, but to figure out whether it is going to be an arithmetic progression or not, we just require 3 terms at least, right? So let's write this list. So amount of air present in the cylinder initially is X. Then once you operate the pump, it is going to be 3/4x. Once you operate, again, if you operate the pump, it is going to be 9/16x, right? We have to see whether it is going to be an arithmetic progression or not, right? For that, what we are going to do is, we are going to see the difference between successive terms, right? So the first term is X, A1 is X. The second term is A2, that is 3/4x, and third term is 9/16x, right? Now let's find the difference between pairs of terms. So A2 minus A1 is 3x by 4 minus x, right? Let's simplify this. I can write minus x as minus x by 1, right? Now 4 is going to be the denominator. Then 3x times 4/4 is 1 minus x times 4/1 is 4, right? What you have is 3x minus 4x, that is minus 1x divided by 4. Let's write that. Minus x by 4 is the difference between second and first term, right? Now let's find the difference between these two terms. That is A3 minus A2. sorry, this is A3 minus A2. That is going to be 9 by 16x minus 3 by 4x, right? Let's simplify this. So here it is going to be 16. I can write 16. So 9x times 16 by 16, that is 1, minus 3x times 16 by 4, that is 4, right? What I have is 9x minus 12x divided by 16. This is going to be minus 3x divided by 16. Now look at this. The difference between the terms, first one is minus x by 4, the second one is minus 3x by 16. These two are not same, right? For an arithmetic progression, the number has to be a fixed number, right? The difference between successive terms is going to be a fixed number, right? In arithmetic progression. So here it is not meeting that requirement. The difference between the terms, successive terms, is not fixed. That's why we can say that given list of numbers is not an arithmetic progression. Understood? The next scenario is the cost of digging a well after every meter of digging, when it costs 150 rupees for the first meter and raises by 50 rupees for each subsequent meter. Look at this. The list is going to be cost of digging well after every meter of digging. Meaning list is going to have cost for digging 1 meter, cost for digging 2 meters, cost for digging 3 meters, cost for digging 4 meters, and so on, right? So the first meter is going to cost you 150 rupees. Later on, for every meter, it is going to be 50 rupees, right? So let's write for first meter, the cost is going to be 150 rupees. For the 2 meters, it is going to be 150 rupees plus 50 rupees, right? This is for first meter and this is for the second meter. So total is 200. Cost for 3 meters is going to be 200 plus 50, that is equal to 250. Otherwise, you can write it as 150 plus 2 times 50. This is also going to be 250 only, right? I have written simply by adding one more meter ka cost, right? So the next one is cost for 4 meters is 250 plus 50, that is equal to 300. Now let's write the list. List of costs is 150 for first meter. When you have 2 meters, it is going to be 200. If you are digging 3 meters, it is going to be 250. If you are digging 4 meters, it is going to be 300, and so on, right? Now look at this. This is the list of costs. And we know that arithmetic progression requires a fixed number between successive terms, right? You are going to add a fixed number to the preceding term so that you will be obtaining the current term, right? Let's see. That is exception for the first term. Let's write the first term, 150, right? Later on, you are adding plus 50, plus 50, plus 50, right? It is going like that. That's why we can say that the fixed number or the cost, or the common difference is 50. Since the fixed number is there, we can say that the list of numbers given here is an arithmetic progression. Got it? The next one is the amount of money in the account every year. When 10,000 rupees is deposited at the compound interest of 8% per annum. You look at this. The list you are going to write is the amount of money in the account every year. Okay. So initially you have deposited 10,000 rupees and the interest accumulated is compound interest, 8% per annum. What does it mean by compound interest? The interest accumulated at the end of the year is going to be added to the principal amount, right? For first year, the principal is 10,000. For the next year, it is going to be 10,000 plus whatever the interest you have accumulated within the first year. The total is going to be your principal amount. Such interest calculation method is called compound interest method. Okay. Let's take a look at this. You have first deposited 10,000 rupees, meaning the amount in the account or the principal for the first year is 10,000. So on this 10,000 end of the year, you will be accumulating the interest, right? So what is the interest you are going to accumulate? That is 8%, meaning 8 by 100 into 10,000, that is equal to 800, right? Total 800 rupees you have accumulated. That is going to be added to this 10,000 so that it is going to be the principal amount for the second year. So principal amount for the second year is going to be 10,800. So end of second year, what the amount you will be having? That is going to be the interest for the second year. So interest for that year is going to be 10,800 times 8 by 100. This is going to be 864, right? 108 times 8 is 864. So this you add to 10,800 so that it becomes the principal for third year. That is going to be 11,664. Now look at this amount of money in the account every year. First year it is 10,000. Of course, end of the year they calculate and simply add to your account, right? So amount present in the second year is going to be 10,800. Amount you have for this is for third year. Third year is going to be 11,664, right? So let me write the list. The list of amounts is going to be 10,000, 10,800, 11,664 and so on, right? Now you see the difference. First term is 10,000, the second term is 10,800, the third term is 11,664, right? So A2 minus A1 is 800, A3 minus A2 is 11,664 minus 10,800, that is going to be 864. You see the difference is different. It is 800 here, it is 864 here, meaning the difference between successive terms is not a fixed number, right? For that reason, you say that since the difference between the terms is not fixed, you say that the list of amounts, whatever you have gotten here, is not an arithmetic progression. Understood? Second question is write first four terms of arithmetic progression when first term is A and the common difference D are given as follows. You are given total 5 problems. For everything, you have to write first four terms of an arithmetic progression. What is given? A, that is first term, and D, that is the common difference, right? Let's start with the first problem. That is A equal to 10 and D equal to 10. So first term A equal to A1 equal to 10, right? The common difference D equal to 10. So once you have A1 and common difference D, you can write the second term, right? Second term A2 is going to be A1 plus D, right? What is A1? That is 10. What is D? That is also 10. So 10 plus 10, that is equal to 20. So A2 equal to 20. Once you have A2, you can get A3 by adding 10 to A2, right? So let's write the third term, that is A3 equal to A2 plus D, right? That is 20 plus 10, that is equal to 30, right? Once you have third term, you can write the fourth term, that is A4 equal to A3 plus D, right? 30 plus 10, that is equal to 40. So we are asked to write total first four terms, right? We have first term already given, second term we have written, third term, fourth term. Let's write the answer. First four terms of given arithmetic progression are 10, 20, 30, 40. Got it? Now let's see the second part of the problem. Here the first term is given as minus 2, that is A equal to minus 2, and the the common difference D is 0, right? So what is the second term? Second term is A2 equal to A1 plus D, right? A1 is minus 2, D is 0. Let's add them. So A2 is going to be minus 2. The third term is going to be A3 equal to A2 plus D. In this case also you are going to get minus 2 only, right? Fourth term is A4 equal to A3 plus D, that is also equal to minus 2. So let's write the first 4 terms of arithmetic progression as minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. Got it? Let's see the third problem here. A, that is the first term, that is 4 given, and common difference D equal to minus 3, right? The second term can be obtained from A1 and D, right? Second term is A2 equal to A1 plus D. So when you substitute A1 equal to 4 and D equal to minus 3, what you get is 1 as the answer. A2 equal to 1. The third term is going to be A3 equal to A2 plus D. So it is going to be 1 plus minus 3, that is minus 2. Got it? Now the fourth term is going to be A4 equal to A3 plus D, that is minus 2 plus minus 3, that is equal to minus 5. Got it? Now let's write the answer. First 4 terms of the given arithmetic progression are 4, 1, minus 2, minus 5. Got it? Now let's look at the next part of the problem. That is A equal to minus 1. That is the first term, and common difference is half. Right? Now the second term A2 equal to A1 plus D. Right? Let's substitute A1 equal to minus 1 and A2 equal to half. When you substitute, what you get is minus half as A2. Right? Now the third term we can write as A3 equal to A2 plus D, that is minus half plus half, that is equal to 0. Right? The fourth term is going to be A4 equal to A3 plus D, that is 0 plus half, that is equal to half. Right? Now let's write first 4 terms of this arithmetic progression as minus 1, minus half, 0 and half. Right? Now let's look at the last part of the problem. That is first term A equal to minus 1.25 and the common difference D equal to minus 0.25. Right? The second term A2 is equal to A1 plus D. Let's substitute A1 equal to minus 1.25 and D equal to minus 0.25. When you substitute and simplify, what you get is minus 1.50 as the second term. Right? The third term is going to be A3 equal to A2 plus D. A2 is minus 1.5 and D is minus 0.25. When you add, what you get is minus 1.75. Right? The fourth term is going to be A3 plus D. That is going to be minus 1.75 minus 0.25, that is equal to minus 2.0. Right? So to answer the question, the first 4 terms of given arithmetic progression are minus 1.25, minus 1.50, minus 1.75 and minus 2. Got it? Question number 3 is, for the following arithmetic progressions, write the first term and common difference. We are given total 4 arithmetic progressions and we are asked to find the first term and common difference. Right? Let's start with the first one. Here, for the first one, the first term is 3. Right? That's why you say that A1 equal to 3. Now we have to find the common difference. Right? It means we have to know what are the values of A2, A3, A4 and so on. A2 is 1. A3 is minus 1 and A4 is minus 3, right? We know common difference is defined as D equal to A2 minus A1 or that is equal to A3 minus A2, or you can say that is equal to A4 minus A3. You can take any of the pairs and get the difference, right? To begin with, let me find D equal to A2 minus A1. What is A2? A2 equal to 1, A1 equal to 3. Right? Let's substitute them so that you can get D equal to 1 minus 3, that is equal to minus 2. So what is the common difference? Minus 2, right? First term is 3 and common difference D equal to minus 2 is the answer. Now let's look at the second progression, that is minus 5, minus 1, 3, 7 and so on, right? For this, the first term is going to be minus 5, right? The progression is starting with minus 5, that is why A1 equal to minus 5. The second term is going to be minus 1. The next term A3 is going to be 3 and the next term is going to be A4 equal to 7, right? Now let's find the common difference. We know common difference can be obtained as a2 minus a1 or a3 minus a2 or a4 minus a3, right? For earlier problem, we have done a2 minus a1. Let's choose a different pair now. D equal to a4 minus a3, right? A4 is what? 7 and a3 is what? 3. Let's subtract 3 from 7 so that what you get is 4. So to answer the question, first term is minus 5 and the common difference is D equal to 4. Got it? Now let's look at the third part of the problem. Here the first term is 1 by 3. The next term is 5 by 3. A3 is 9 by 3 and A4 is 13 by 3, right? The common difference is going to be A2 minus A1, right? So let's subtract 1 by 3 from 5 by 3. When you do that, since the denominators are same, you can simply subtract 1 from 5 so that it becomes numerator, right? 5 minus 1 divided by 3 is what you have, that is equal to 4 by 3, right? The common difference is 4 by 3. So to answer the question, the first term is 1 by 3 and the common difference is 4 by 3. Got it? Let's look at the last part of the problem. Here the first term is a1 equal to 0.6. The next term is a2 equal to 1.7. The next term is a3 equal to 2.8 and a4 equal to 3.9, right? We have to find the common difference. For that, let me write D equal to a2 minus a1. What is a2? 1.7 and a1 equal to 0.6, right? 1.7 minus 0.6 is 1.1. So to answer the question, you say first term is 0.6 and the common difference D equal to 1.1. Got it? Question number 4 is, which of the following are arithmetic progressions? If they form an arithmetic progression, find the common difference D and write 3 more terms. We are given total 13 lists of numbers, right? We are asked to find which of the following are arithmetic progressions first. If a given list is an arithmetic progression, then we have to find what is the common difference and then write 3 more terms for that arithmetic progression. Got it? So let's start with the first one. The list given is 2, 4, 8 and 16, right? We know that list of numbers A1, A2, A3, A4 and so on is an arithmetic progression where the common difference D is defined as D equal to A2 minus A1, that is equal to A3 minus A2, that is equal to A4 minus A3 and so on, right? Meaning if you take the difference between successive terms, if all the differences you get, if they are same, then that is called common difference, right? If a given series of numbers or given list of numbers have a common difference, then you say that the list of numbers is an arithmetic progression, right? So let's start with the first problem. 2, 4, 8 and 16, right? For this, compare with this particular progression, then you can say that A1 equal to 2, A2 equal to 4, A3 equal to 8 and A4 equal to 16 and so on, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the difference between successive terms. A2 minus A1 is 4 minus 2, right? That is equal to 2. Now let me find the difference between A3 and A2, right? A3 minus A2 equal to 8 minus 4, that is equal to 4, right? I can find even difference between A4 and A3. When I do that, what I get is A4 minus A3 equal to 16 minus 8, that is equal to 8. Now you see the differences are 2, 4 and 8, right? They are not constant. These are not a fixed number, right? For that reason, since the difference is not same, A2 minus A1 is not equal to A3 minus A2, that is not equal to A4 minus A3, right? For that reason, you say that the given list of numbers is not an arithmetic progression. Understood? The next one, what you have is 2, 5 by 2, 3, 7 by 2, and so on. When you look at this, you can say that A1 equal to 2, A2 equal to 5 by 2, A3 equal to 3, and A4 equal to 7 by 2. Right? Now let's find the difference between successive terms. A2 minus A1 is what I want to find first. That is 5 by 2 minus 2. What is its value? 5 by 2 minus 2 can be written as 2 by 1, or you can write it as 4 by 2. Right? If it is 4 by 2, then you can simply say that it is 5 minus 4 divided by 2. That's what I have written here. That is equal to half. Got it? A2 minus A1 equal to half. Then the next pair I'm going to look at is 3 and 5 by 2. The difference between A3 and A2. That is going to be 3 minus 5 by 2. Right? I can write 3 as 6 by 2 minus 5 by 2. Right? 3 minus 5 by 2 equal to 6 by 2 minus 5 by 2. Right? I can write that way so that it is going to be 6 minus 5 divided by 2, that is equal to half. Right? A3 minus A2 is also half. Now let's look at the difference between A4 and A3. Right? A4 minus A3 is 7 by 2 minus 3. Let me do the same trick. 7 by 2 minus 3 can be written as 6 by 2. When I do that, it is going to be 7 minus 6 divided by 2, that is equal to half. Now you see, whatever the terms we have, based on that we have found the difference between successive terms. That comes out to be the constant. It's a fixed number, right? Since D is, a fixed number comes out as the difference, we say that given series or given list of numbers is an arithmetic progression. Understood? Now, if it is an arithmetic progression, we have next step to do. That is, write 3 more terms. Let's do that. Now we have seen, up to 4th term we have, right? 3 more terms, meaning we have to write 5th term, 6th term, and 7th term, right? 5th term can be written as A5 equal to A4 plus D, right? 7 by 2 plus 1 by 2. That is going to be 7 plus 1 divided by 2, that is equal to 8 by 2, that is equal to 4, right? A5 we have, that is 4 now. So A6 can be obtained by adding D to A5, right? Let's do that. This is going to be A6 equal to A5 plus D, that is 4 plus half. It means I can write it as 8 by 2, right? Plus 1 by 2. It means I'll be having 9 by 2, right? 8 plus 1 divided by 2, that is equal to 9 by 2. A6 or the 6th term we got is 9 by 2, right? 7th term can be obtained by adding common difference to it, right? A7 equal to A6 plus D, that is 9 by 2 plus 1 by 2. That is going to be 9 plus 1 divided by 2, that is equal to 10 by 2, that is 5. Now we have written 3 additional terms, right? So let's write the series now. 2, 5 by 2, 3, 7 by 2. This is what is given. And then we got 4, 9 by 2 and 5. So this is the arithmetic progression we are writing now. Now let's look at the next part, right? When you look at this, what you can say is my first term A1 equal to minus 1.2, A2 equal to minus 3.2, and A3 is minus 5.2, and A4 is minus 7.2, right? Now let's find the difference between successive terms. A2 minus A1 is minus 3.2 minus 1.2, right? This minus and this minus, when they multiply, it becomes plus, right? So I can write this as minus 3.2 plus 1.2, that is equal to minus 2.0. So this is A2 minus A1. Now let's find what is the difference between A3 and A2. A3 minus A2, I can write it as minus 5.2 minus 3.2. When you simplify it, you get it as minus 2.0, right? Now let me find the difference between A4 and A3. A4 minus A3 is minus 7.2 minus minus 5.2. When you simplify it, what you get is minus 2.0. So now we have seen the difference between successive terms is same, right? That is the fixed number. Since you could get the difference as a fixed number, you can say that the given list of numbers is an arithmetic progression. If it is an arithmetic progression, what we have to do? We have to write 3 more terms. Let's write that. So we have up to 4th term, A4, right? Now let's write A5, that is A4 plus D, right? That is minus 7.2 plus minus 2.0. That is going to be minus 9.2, right? Now A6 can be written as A5 plus D. That is going to be minus 9.2 coming from here plus minus 2.0, that is equal to minus 11.2, right? Now let me write A7, that is A6 plus D, that is minus 11.2 plus minus 2.0, that is equal to minus 13.2, right? So now we have the additional 3 terms. Let's write the list. That is minus 1.2, minus 3.2, minus 5.2, minus 7.2, minus 9.2, minus 11.2, and minus 13.2. Got it? The next one is 4th list of numbers, that is minus 10, minus 6, minus 2, and 2, and so on, right? When you look at this, you can say that A1 equal to minus 10, A2 equal to minus 6, A3 equal to minus 2, and A4 equal to 2, right? So what we have to do is now find the difference between successive terms. A2 minus A1 is what we have to find first. A2 minus A1 equal to minus 6 minus minus 10, right? That is going to be minus 6 plus 10, that is equal to 4. Now let me find the difference between A3 and A2. A3 minus A2 is minus 2 minus minus 6. That is going to be minus 2 plus 6, that is also equal to 4. Now let me find the difference between A4 and A3, right? That is 2 minus minus 2. That is going to be 2 plus 2, that is equal to 4. Now you see the difference between successive terms is same. It is a fixed number, right? That's why we can say that it is the common difference and the given list of numbers is an arithmetic progression, right? Once you have arithmetic progression, you have to find 3 more terms, right? Let's do that now. We have 4th term, that is 2, and we know what is the value of D, that is 4, right? 5th term can be written as A5 equal to A4 plus D, that is 2 plus 4, that is equal to 6, right? The next term is going to be A5 plus D, that is 6 plus 4, that is equal to 10. The next term is going to be 10 plus 4, that is 14, right? You have now 3 extra terms, 6, 10, and 14. Let's write them. The series is going to be minus 10, minus 6, minus 2, and 2. That is what is given. And 6, 10, and 4 are the extra 3 terms we have written now, right? Now let's look at the next part of the problem, that is 5th. Here, when you look at, you can say that A1 equal to 3, A2 equal to 3 plus root 2, and A3 is 3 plus 2 root 2, and A4 is 3 plus 3 root 2, right? Now let's find the difference between successive terms. A2 minus A1 is going to be 3 plus root 2 minus 3. I can cancel this minus 3 and this plus 3. Then what I have is root 2, right? Next, let's find A3 minus A2. That is going to be 3 plus 2 root 2 minus 3 plus root 2, right? I'm going to subtract 3 plus root 2 from 3 plus 2 root 2, right? Now let's see, let's multiply with this minus symbol so that we can expand this and write it as 3 plus root 2 plus root 2 is 2 root 2. I have expanded this, right? Then this is minus 3 and this is minus root 2, right? Root 2 plus root 2 is 2 root 2. If you have any doubt, you can check. Root 2 plus root 2 is going to be, suppose if this is there, then let me take root 2 as the common factor out. Then what I have is 1 plus 1, right? Here I'll have 1, here I'll have 1. So what you have is root 2 times 2. That can be written as 2 root 2 also, right? That's why what I have done is 2 root 2, I have written it as root 2 plus root 2. Now here I have minus root 2, here I have plus root 2. Let me cancel this. Plus 3 minus 3 I'll cancel. Then what I have is only root 2, right? A3 minus A2 is also equal to root 2. Here we have root 2, here also we got root 2. Now let me find the difference between A4 and A3, right? 3 plus 3 root 2 minus 3 plus 2 root 2. When you expand this, I can write 3 root 2 as 2 root 2 plus root 2. I have written this 3 root 2 as 2 root 2 plus root 2. You can check that. And this is going to be minus 3 and then minus 2 root 2. That's what I have written. Let me cancel this minus 3 and plus 3. And I can cancel this plus 2 root 2 minus 2 root 2. Then what I have is only root 2, right? So in all the cases, you got the difference as root 2 only, right? That is the common difference. You got it? The common difference is root 2. Since you have the difference as a fixed number, you can say that the given list of numbers is an arithmetic progression. Understood? If it is an arithmetic progression, we have to write few more terms, right? We know what is the fourth term? 3 plus 3 root 2. And we know the value of D, right? Now let's find A5. A5 equal to A4 plus D, right? Now what you have is 3 plus 3 root 2 as A4 and D equal to root 2. Now look at these two terms. If I take root 2 as the common factor out, what you will have is 3 plus 1, right? That's what I have done. I have kept this 3 as is and then taken root 2 as the common factor from these two terms, right? Then here, the first part I'm going to have only 3 and for the second part I'm going to have 1. That's what I have written here. So 3 plus root 2 times 3 plus 1 equal to 3 plus 4 root 2. This is the term A5. Now let me write A6. That is going to be A5 plus D. That is 3 plus 4 root 2 plus root 2. That I can write it as 3 plus root 2 times 4 plus 1. That is going to be 3 plus 5 root 2, right? Now let me write A7. A7 equal to A6 plus D. That is going to be 3 plus 5 root 2 plus root 2, right? So now I can write, if I take root 2 as the common factor out for last two terms, then I can write the whole expression as 3 plus root 2 times 5 plus 1, that is equal to 3 plus 6 root 2. Got it? Now we have written 3 other terms also, right? So these 4 terms are given and we have written 3 more terms, right? The next list of numbers is this one, right? 0.2, 0.22, 0.222, 0.2222 and so on. When you look at this, you can say that A1 equal to 0.2, A2 equal to 0.22, A3 equal to 0.222 and then A4 equal to 0.2222. Just by looking at this itself, you can say that it is not an arithmetic progression. But anyway, let's find the difference between successive terms and see whether it comes out to be a fixed number or not. So A2 minus A1 is going to be 0.22 minus 0.2 is 0.02, right? It is going to be 22 minus 0.20. Then what you have is 2.02. Got it? So A3 minus A2 is 0.222 minus 0.22. That is going to be 0.002. Right? By looking at these two itself, you can say that the difference is not common or not a fixed number, right? But let's find even A4 minus A3 also. That is going to be 0.0002. So looking at all these, you can say that the difference between successive terms is not same, right? That's why you can say that the given list of numbers is not an arithmetic progression. Got it? Let's see the next one. That is 0, minus 4, minus 8, minus 12, and so on. When you look at this, you can say that A1 equal to 0, A2 equal to minus 4, A3 equal to minus 8, A4 equal to minus 12, and so on, right? Now let's find the difference between successive terms. A2 minus A1 is minus 4 minus 0, that is equal to minus 4, right? Now A3 minus A2 is going to be minus 8 minus minus 4, that is equal to minus 8 plus 4, that is equal to minus 4, right? You have same thing coming out. The next one is A4 minus A3, that is minus 12 minus minus 8, that can be written as minus 12 plus 8, that is equal to minus 4, right? The difference between successive terms is same. That's why it is called fixed number or the common difference, right? D equal to minus 4. We can say that the difference between successive terms is a fixed number. You can say that the given list is an arithmetic progression, right? Let me write that. If it is an arithmetic progression, we have to find 3 more terms, right? Let's do that. Since we know A4, that is minus 12, and then D equal to minus 4, we can write A5 as A4 plus D, right? That is going to be minus 16. A6 is going to be A5 plus D, that is minus 16 plus minus 4, that is equal to minus 16 minus 4, that is equal to minus 20. A7 is going to be minus 20 minus 4, that is equal to minus 24, right? Now you have 3 more terms known. Let's write them. So these are the 4 terms given, and we have written these 3 terms. Got it? Let's see the next one. That is minus half, minus half, minus half, minus half, and so on, right? When you look at this, you can say that A1 equal to minus half, A2 equal to minus half, A3 equal to minus half, A4 equal to minus half, and so on, right? Looking at this itself, you can say that it is in arithmetic progression because the common difference here is 0, right? But anyway, let's find that. A2 minus A1 equal to minus half plus half, that is equal to 0, meaning minus half minus minus half equal to 0. A3 minus A2 is also going to be equal to 0, right? A4 minus A3 is also going to be 0. That's why I have written the fixed number D equal to 0. That is the common difference. That's why this particular series is an arithmetic progression, right? Once you have this arithmetic progression, you can write 3 more terms, right? Those 3 terms are going to be the same because the common difference, whatever you, for example, you have A4 here, you add 0, so that you got A5 as minus half. Then A5 you add 0, that is D. Then A6 is also going to be minus half. A7 is also going to be minus half. How many ever terms you write, you are going to get the same. So the series is going to be these 4 numbers are given and these 3 numbers we have written. Got it? The next list of numbers is 1, 3, 9, and 27. When you look at, you can say that first term A1 equal to 1, A2 equal to 3, A3 equal to 9, A4 equal to 27, right? We have to first find the difference between successive terms A2 minus A1, A3 minus A2, A4 minus A3, and see whether they are coming out to be a fixed number or not, right? So let's find A2 minus A1, that is 3 minus 1, that is equal to 2. Next, A3 minus A2 is 9 minus 3 equal to 6. So you are not getting a fixed number, right? Here you got 2, here you got 6. Let's find even A4 minus A3, that is 27 minus 9, that is equal to 18, right? When you look at these, you say that the difference between successive terms is not a fixed number, right? That's why the given list of numbers is not an arithmetic progression. Got it? The next list of numbers is a, 2a, 3a, 4a, and so on, right? So when you look at that, you can say that a1 equal to a2 equal to 2a, a3 equal to 3a, a4 equal to 4a. Sorry, this is not 41, 4a, right? Now let's find the difference between successive terms. a2 minus a1 is 2a minus a. 2a minus a is a, right? If you have any doubt, you can check this way. I can take a as the common factor out, then I have what? 2 minus 1, right? This is going to be 1a. That's what I have written here. a2 minus a1 equal to a. Now a3 minus a2, that is 3a minus 2a, right? That is also equal to a. a4 minus a3, that is also equal to a. Now the difference between successive terms is coming out to be a fixed number. That's why you say that the given series is an arithmetic progression and the fixed number or the common difference is a, right? Now using a4 and the fixed number, you are going to write the next term. Like that, we are going to write 3 more terms, right? Now what I'm going to do is, since I know fourth term, that is 4a, and the common difference d equal to a, I'll write fifth term as a4 plus d, that is 4a plus a, that is equal to 5a, right? a5 equal to 5a. Then a6 is going to be a5 plus d, that is 5a plus a, that is equal to 6a, right? a7 is going to be 6a plus a, that is 7a. Got it? Now we have 3 additional terms. Let's write the whole series. These 4 terms were given in the problem statement, and we have written 3 more terms, right? Now let's look at the next part of the problem. That is a square, a cube, a power 4 extra, right? So when you look at this, you can say that a1 equal to a2 equal to a square, a3 equal to a cube, and a4 equal to a power 4, right? Now let's find the difference between successive terms. a2 minus a1 is going to be a square minus a, right? Let me take a as the common factor out. Then what I have is a times a minus 1, that is equal to a2 minus a1, right? Now let me see what is the value of a3 minus a2. a3 minus a2 is going to be a cube minus a square. I can take a square as the common factor out. Then what I have is a minus 1. So the difference is going to be a square times a minus 1. Look at this. A times a minus 1. Look at this. A square minus a square times a minus 1. These two are not same, right? Now itself we can say that the difference is not a fixed number, right? We can stop here and say that it is not an arithmetic progression. But let me do a4 minus a3 also. That is going to be a cube times a minus 1. When you look at these 3, what you can say is the difference between successive terms is not a constant, right? For that reason, the given list of numbers or given list of terms is not an arithmetic progression. Understood? The next list of numbers is root 2, root 8, root 18, root 32, and so on. When you look at this, you can say a1 equal to root 2, a2 equal to root 8, a3 equal to root 18, and a4 equal to root 32, right? Now let me find the difference between a2 and a1. That is going to be root 8 minus root 2. How can I write root 8? I can write it as 2 root 2, right? Root 8 can be written as root 4 times 2, right? That can be written as root 4 times root 2. Root 4 is 2 and root 2 is root 2 only. That's why you can write root 8 as 2 root 2. 2 root 2 minus root 2 is what you have. 2 root 2 can be written as root 2 plus root 2. You remember? It can be written as root 2 plus root 2, right? Let's write that. Or otherwise you can do in a slightly different way. You can take root 2 as the common factor out of this, both the terms. Then what you have is 2 minus 1, that is going to be equal to 1. So what you have is root 2. Otherwise you can write 2 root 2 as root 2 plus root 2, then subtract root 2 from there. Then what you have is root 2. Both the ways you can get. Got it? A2 minus A1 is root 2. Now let's see what is the difference between A3 and A2. A3 is root 18 and A2 is root 8, right? How do I write root 18? Root 18, I can write it as 3 root 2. And this one is 2 root 2, right? What is the difference between 3 root 2 and 2 root 2? When you look at this, you can say that I can take root 2 as the common factor out. When you do that, what you will be having is root 2 times 3 minus 2. That is equal to 1. That's why what you have is root 2 here, right? A3 minus A2 is also root 2. Now let's find what is the difference between A4 and A3. That is root 32 minus root 18. We have seen root 18 is 3 root 2. What about root 32? Root 32 can be written as 16 times 2, right? 16 times 2, meaning 4 root 2, right? Let me write that. 4 root 2 minus 3 root 2. Then I can take root 2 as the common factor out. Then when you do that, it is going to be root 2 times 4 minus 3. That is equal to root 2 times 1. That is equal to root 2. So in all these cases, we got the difference as a fixed number, right? So what is that fixed number? That is root 2. Since you have the difference between successive terms as a fixed number, you can say that the given list of numbers is an arithmetic progression, right? Once you know that it is an arithmetic progression, what you have to do is we have to write 3 more terms. For that, I have A4 and D. Using these two, I can write A5, right? A5 equal to A4 plus D, that is root 32 plus root 2. What I can do is root 32 is 4 root 2, right? Now what I have is 4 root 2 plus root 2. Let me take root 2 as the common factor out. Then it is going to be root 2 times 4 plus 1, that is 5 root 2. Of course, you can write 5 root 2. Otherwise, what I can do is I can write this 5 as square root of 25, right? Then what I have is square root of 25 times square root of 2. That I can merge these two roots so that I can write it as square root of 25 times 2, that is square root of 50. Understood? Now, once you have A5 as square root of 50, what is A6? A6 is square root of 50 plus 2, right? We know square root of 50 is 5 root 2, right? Let me write that 5 root 2 plus root 2. This can be written as root 2 plus 5, root 2 times 5 plus 1, that is 6 root 2. That can be written as square root of 36 times square root of 2. That is equal to square root of 72, right? Now, what you have is square root of 72 as A6. Then what is A7? A7 equal to square root of 72 plus root 2. That can be written as 6 root 2 plus root 2. When you simplify it, you get it as 7 root 2. 7 root 2 can be written as square root of 49 times square root of 2. That is equal to square root of 98. Now we have 3 additional terms, right? Let's put them together so that we can write the series as 4 numbers they have given and 3 numbers we have written now, right? The next one is root 3, root 6, root 9, root 12, and so on. When you look at this, you can say that A1 equal to root 3, A2 equal to root 6, A3 equal to root 9, and A4 equal to root 12, right? Now let's find the difference between successive terms. Root 6 minus root 3. A2 minus A1 is root 6 minus root 3. Root 6, I can write it as root 2 times root 3, right? Root 6 equal to root 2 times 3, that is equal to root 2 times root 3, right? I can take root 3 as the common factor out. Then I can write it as root 3 times root 2 minus 1. This is A2 minus A1. Please note this. Now let's find A3 minus A2, that is root 9 minus root 6. I can write root 9 as root 3 times root 3. Or otherwise I can write it as 3, right? And what I have is root 2 times root 3 for root 6. Now when you subtract root 2 times root 3 from 3, what you will have is root 3 times root 3 minus root 2, right? Here, root 9, I can write it as root 3 times root 3 minus root 2 times root 3. When you subtract, and when you take root 3 as the common factor out, then what you have is root 3 times root 3 minus root 2, right? That's what we have here. Look at these two. The difference is not same, right? I can stop here and say that a2 minus a1 is not equal to a3 minus a2. For that reason, whatever the list of numbers you are having, that is not an arithmetic progression. Got it? I hope you like the video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, Learn to Score. Thank you.